Tuesday night podcast, the Beat Radio Bali, and we'd like to welcome you to the show. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
DJ ST. It's Tuesday night podcast. Yeah, Tuesday night live. Welcome to the show. I'm speaking to Dethu, my old friend Dethu. Dethu's like one of the luminaries of rock and roll on the island of Bali. He's like the godfather of rock and roll.
Oh my God!
Do you think so?
Thank you.
And so Dethu and I have been friends for many years.
2002, 2001,
2001.
Yeah.
But what we do normally on the show is we start off with a couple of simple questions to get the ball rolling.
Hello everyone, I'm Rudolf Dethu. Very happy to join this radio show.
Yes. And I'm going to ask you. Okay, how old are you?
I'm not going to answer that.
All right. Where were you born?
In Denpasar, Bali.
All right.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved in rock and roll?
I've been into music since I was a kid, but I remember because my dad used to work in a hotel, and he was very close with this DJ from America in Bali Hyatt. So the very first discotheque, proper discotheque in Bali, in a hotel, was at Bali Hyatt. And Bali Hyatt, and then he was good friend with
Bali Hyatt in Sanur, right?
Yeah, Bali Hyatt in Sanur,
Yeah.
and he was very close with this African American guy, and then he always brought Billboard magazine at the time. So my dad, because he knew I was really into music, and he gave me Billboard magazine when I was still very young, and then from there.
Well, how old were you then?
I think around 11 or something. Yeah, but
And you were already listening to buying records or something?
But I didn't buy. I was just amazed. I was just amazed by the visual of it, and then I just started learning English at the time, and then so that's why.
So you fell in love with the rock and roll attitude.
Yeah, the rock and roll attitude, and I saw the visual until I think around 13 or something, and then I started really listening to it. I mean, I just bought whatever I saw on the Billboard magazine at the time, and it's big, and I remember I was so amazed. I was so amazed. I was so amazed by the post. The one whole page. It had
Like a poster?
Van Halen, Woman and Children First. I was so amazed by it. Even until today, I remember I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So, but I didn't really buy that one, Van Halen, Woman and Children First, because I couldn't find it in Indonesia at the time, because people still into, at the time, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, something like that. So,
what year was this? Like, this is 70s, I guess.
50s. No, it's
I'm glad you didn't tell us how old you are.
No, it was in it was decades ago. And then
no, it's just to get a picture of what year we're looking at here.
I think it was around early 80s.
All right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long.
It was just like yesterday.
No, it was in early 80s, and then so I bought Deep Purple, my very first rock album at the time, when I was, I think, around 13 or something. My first rock album was Deep Purple, Made in Japan.
Right.
And then
everybody had that one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then and then I met at the same time. I was in the same class with this guy, and he brought me Led Zeppelin album. What was it called? The Live album. So we exchanged and then we became friends, and then there I went. I became a rock and roll guy at the time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But it was cool. It was cool to be a rock and roll guy at the time. Like,
no,
a lot of people were into it.
No, not really. And in my school, it's only two of us in the class, But then people when I got older, kids started listening to rock music, but because all of us at the time, they just followed their uncle or their dad, right? So they all just listened to like old albums of Genesis and everything. I wasn't really into it.
The Beatles.
Yeah, I wasn't really into it because for me at the time, because I read Billboard earlier, and then I know what's going on at the time. While Indonesia at the time, we didn't really have that much information about rock music, right? Because Billboard helped me, so I was pretty advanced at the time. So I listened to my own.
So you were cutting edge at that time?
Yeah, I was already cutting edge, not because I was into, but because maybe my information was better than other people. So people still listen to Genesis, Dire Straits, and all that. I was already into like Dokken, Kiss. Yeah. So
Kiss.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, they're actually old also as well. But then
oh shit! What am I on?
Oh,
the Beat Radio Bali. I'm supposed to be. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
So I was already. So I had more information than all of my friends. So from that 13 years old, people ask me about music until I'm today. So
yeah,
I'm always into rock and roll history because of this Billboard magazine. Yeah.
Oh right. So you were getting the Billboard magazine every week or every month or whatever it was.
Yeah. Every month, but basically after this DJ didn't use the Billboard magazine anymore, didn't need it. So he just gave a stack of them to my dad.
Oh right.
Yeah. So my dad gave it to me. I was like, whoo.
You'd flick through them and find all sorts of wonderful things.
Yes.
And so you dreamt of forming a band and all this stuff.
No, not really, because I actually.
No, it's okay. I'll just drink.
I've never been like a very. I'm quite shy with this. I'm more from at the back, and then I'm more of a writer kind of guy and everything. I in the end I became a band man. It's just happened, not because I wanted to be, because something happened.
Yeah, I can imagine, because it's not that easy, for me either, to get up on stage and do something. Anyway, you have a big plan, but I did, everyone, I think all kids sort of dream of being rock stars, right?
I suppose. My kind of rock star is not to be on stage, and because I know it's not my thing even until today,
But I do remember you at one of the first
your concert.
Beat Rock Fest. I think that was in 2001. We are shooting forward a little bit. At Cafe Luna.
Cafe Luna, yeah.
And you were the thin white duke with your white suit and I'm not even sure what kind of music you were playing and who the other dudes were. Who were they?
One of them was Lolot, actually.
Oh yeah, I thought it
he was on guitar at the time.
Yeah.
And I became the singer of the band. It's because I wrote the lyrics for Lolot because. Do I have to say?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So back then, this is back in the late 90s and everything. So all of us in Indonesia, all like Denpasar, all big cities in Indonesia, they released their own album, things like we were very inspired, like fuck you, like this album, fuck you, we are from Boston, right? So we. All of Bandung, Jakarta dudes, everyone released their own album. Like, hey, this is Bali. Look at us, something like that. So Bali, me, Jerings, and a few other friends, we made our own compilation album. So all the bands that we think it's cool, we made our compilation album. Hey, dude, let's just do our own compilation album, saying to Indonesia, like, this is us from Bali, something like that.
And when was that?
This was 1990.
1990?
No, 1999.
1999,
Yeah.
Okay.
So back then I had my radio show also, so I met all of these punk rock guys, and so I met Superman's Dead. I met all of these guys who finally made it. Navikula as well.
Sure.
So then we started making this compilation album, and then at the time every band had to sing in English, even though we were not really good in English at the time, but we just would like to say to other Indonesian places like Bali is so international, so that's why all the bands singing in English.
And that how did that go down?
And then of course
there's a backlash.
No, not really backlash. That's how I became a singer. So I was already very close with Lolot at the time.
Right.
They said, "Hey Lolot, you should do this," And so I created this band, like the hardcore rap band, between Beastie Boys mixed with Rage Against the Machine. Mm-hmm. And then I wrote all the lyrics, and I just said, "So how do I sing it?" Like, so I started, and then I said, and it's like, dude, even speaking in Indonesian, I'm not really good. You want me to sing in English? I can't do this. It's like, no, it's very easy. No, why don't you do it? It's like, oh man, I never sing before.
Was that it?
Yeah.
So you reluctantly got up on stage to sing that night. Or was it before?
No, to be recorded. So we made the compilation album, and then dude, this is how you do it. Plus, I don't know how do you say it in English, like the tone and everything. Because I don't know I didn't know how to sing, right? And then Lolot said, "I can sing, but this one you don't sing, you just scream." It's like, oh, okay. Boom! I became a singer. But and then one of the very first time I sang was at the Beat Rock Fest.
Right. Well, I didn't know it was one of your first times. You look like you're a seasoned pro.
I was drunk.
Maybe I was as well. But that was one of the first Beat Rock Fests. But going back into the 90s and when you finished school and but you're on the boats, right? On the what
cruise
do you call it?
ship.
Cruise ship. Yeah. What happened with that? How'd that go? What sort of experience did you get from that?
I mean, actually, I just followed the path of my parents, right? My dad worked in Bali Hyatt, my mom for Qantas. So it's been for me, what I knew was tourism, but then my dad has this a little bit of a like artsy thingy, and then I followed this tourism thing, and then why I chose working in a cruise ship, because oh my god, I can travel the world, so I could buy CDs, cool shirts, something like that. So it's also about music, basically.
But also getting a few dollars, right?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. So I did that, and then I spent all my money buying CDs, buying cool T-shirts, buying cool shirts. Most of my friends at the time, they tried to buy a new house so they can fix their pura, the temple and everything. I just bought hedonistic thing. So, but then I realized after 5 years working in a cruise ship, I didn't really enjoy it. I enjoyed being to communicate with people. I really love it because I talk with so many different kind of people, a different walk of life. So I really learned a lot from there. But after a while, after 5 years, I just thought to myself, I don't think I was so bad I was a waiter. So I was so bad with my.
What was the boat? Where were you going?
I went everywhere. You mentioned cities with ports. I've been there.
All right.
most of them. Yeah. So yeah, all of even the under the South under the South America thing is this is what we call Falkland Island.
Right.
I've been there.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
during the war.
no. After the war.
Okay. So that was during the 90s. So that opens up your eyes too to a whole new world, right?
Yeah.
And English speaking.
Yes.
I guess you have to do a lot of that. So you come back from Bali to Bali, And what do you do next?
Yeah, so as soon as I decided to stop working in cruise ship, it took me only like less than a month. I became a radio DJ. I had my own radio show.
All right.
And I was so bad with this all public thing, right? But
where was this? What
this was a
station?
Radio Casanova in Denpasar. At the time, it was, I could say it was the most popular radio. So they gave me, we can give you prime time 1 week, and you can have your own radio shows. Like, oh, I don't even know how to speak it, but I brought knowledge, you know, like I brought
this is all about rock and roll.
Yeah. I brought hundreds of CDs and then lots of like encyclopedia of Rolling Stone encyclopedia of rock and roll. I brought lots of music magazines to my radio show. So the kids came to my radio show not only to listen to the program, but to read. Like at the time, the information is like very crucial, right? We didn't really have that much.
It was pretty limited.
Yeah, pretty limited. So kids came to my radio show. Some just wanted to talk to me, and there's like, hey, this is what I like. You should play this one. Or they brought their albums, like How I Met Navikula. And then the rest, they just read the Rolling Stone Encyclopedia of Rock and Roll, alternative magazines and everything. Because at the time, only metal radio show that we had. That was considered underground and cool for the kids. But all of these hardcore kids, punk rock kids, they didn't really have place to hang out or to really express themselves.
So that's what it was, a place to hang out.
More
than a radio show.
Yeah, more than a radio show. Even like a small library for them, a small rock and roll library.
So how long did that go on for?
I did it for 2 years, but then I didn't really make that much money at the time. While my job before at the cruise ship, I made for Indonesian standard quite a lot of money. So in the end, I stopped doing it, and then I worked for an American company, in a garment.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
And then you met certain people and carried on life.
Yes.
Yeah, that eventually. Wait a minute. What was the rock scene like in Bali at that point? You know, like live music scene. What was happening with it? It
was very dynamic. It was very alive. You know, the kids just one of the for punk rock scene at the time in Bali especially was because Green Day came to Jakarta, and then some of kids, Balinese kids went to Jakarta, including me. So that's how it started. Because before they only saw this punk rock people with a mohawk and everything, and the street punk,
very dangerous looking.
Yeah, dangerous one, which it didn't really match with hang loose Bali beach culture thing. So when they saw Green Day, and then they found out about Californian punk, which suited more to Balinese culture, it really changed the whole game, you know. Like street punk in Bali never really that big. Yeah, because it did match the culture.
But the Californian style.
Yeah, Californian style.
Distortion.
Yeah.
Whatever that band was called.
No Effects, yeah. Social Distortion, yeah.
And that whole scene, tattoos.
Yeah. So it changed the whole game. So, and then it made me also realize I still work in a cruise ship at the time, but it was my last year or something. So when I came back, so all the kids, the radio show is called Alternative Airplay. I didn't play any metal that much, only like hardcore, punk, ska, even techno. I played hardcore techno, alternative, nothing to metal. So all the kids just came in, and then the scene was. I never thought it would.
But what about venues? Were there many venues where bands were playing?
Yeah, but bad venues, of course. Yeah. So
in town,
and then, but mostly in Denpasar, even in Banjar, they did like so many shows, so many ibu-ibu came to Banjar and they saw punk rock band playing.
The first time in their life. I can imagine that went down.
Yeah, but it was kind of normal for us because the kids just wanted to have stage, yeah. So, but because of you, Stu.
Well, not because of me.
No, I mean like you.
Before.
Yeah, you had the big part. You had the big part why punk rock kids could play in because like Seminyak and all that touristy places there. We never had any chance to really play over there, and because we refused to play other people's songs, so
Yeah, it's all original. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But at some point you got involved with Superman is Dead, and
Yes.
that was like 99 or something?
Yeah.
So what happened there? How did you find
So
each other?
So it turns out when I work in a cruise ship, I made my own compilation album, right? But I didn't just make compilation albums. I made myself, but each and every song I'm basically a writer. So each and every song I made my own footnote about the song, because I had more information about the bands, the songs, and everything, the history of it. It turned out it made the kids like, oh, this is very interesting and everything. So I sent my compilation albums to my younger brother, and then because my younger brother, he's quite social as well, and he gave it to his friends. It turns out that everybody copied the albums, and the whole Denpasar's listening to the same songs.
All right. So it suddenly became a hit.
Yeah, suddenly became a hit. Even the title of my compilation albums, a few of them, they use it to be the name of their band.
All right.
Yeah,
so it had a great influence on the rock scene.
Yeah, I didn't really realize before, but then, and one of the people who listens to that compilation albums was Superman is Dead. So they already.
But they weren't on it.
No, they weren't on it. Oh, no, because my compilation albums, I made it when I was in the cruise ship. So all the Western bands, and I told them about the history of the bands, history of songs, something like that. So
all right. So it had nothing to do with local bands.
No, nothing to do with local bands. But it was very interesting for them because they heard about, like, let's say about Sex Pistols, but they didn't really know who Sex Pistols were and everything because So I gave like quite a comprehensive information about it. Yeah, so when I came back, hey dude, you're the one who we listened to your compilation albums and everything. Thank you. This is very really good information here. You're very knowledgeable, or something like that. So we became friends, and I met Jerings at the time, and then. But I went back to the ship, and then after I decided to quit, so and then I had my own radio show. These guys came, and then we started chatting, and then I became close friend with Jering, and then he asked me to manage his band.
Right.
So I started.
And that was in 99.
Yes.
Or so.
Yeah.
So here's a question. Why do you think, I'm not sure about now, but all the alternative rock scene in Bali over many years was punk? Why do you think that is? Why,
it's
heavy punk.
It's actually it's very funny because if you compare to other places in Indonesia, what's the mainstream music in Bali? Oh, it's punk rock. It's not pop. Yeah. I think because
there's all varieties of music you can play, right? It could be folk, it could be reggae, it could be some sort of rock, but not punk rock. All sorts of genres.
It was back then. The cool kids were into metal, right? But not many, because it was really really hard, because it's too heavy for many people, and the girls didn't really like it. So punk, after Green Day, they look nice, and then badass.
But people were like in the 60s and 70s, they were into the Beatles and Rolling Stones and all that kind of stuff, or not?
Yeah.
So that, I guess, I don't know. What happened to those sort of bands,
Yeah, so the kids in that era, in the 1990s and everything, they listened to Rolling Stone, the Beatles, and everything. But once you open your eyes and you're quite global and everything, and then you know that this is cool, but this doesn't really represent your generation. So when I did my radio show, an alternative airplay, it kind of opened up the kids' eyes. Like, this is us. Green Day is us. So, yeah.
But is it like coming from some kind of protest point of view, like anti-establishment point of view, like punk rock is?
Yeah. In Bali, it's not really anti-establishment. It's more, the kind of anti-establishment that we do is like we don't really do the religion thing, the cultural thing. It's all about hedonism, you know. That's
a reaction to the traditional style, Bali style.
Yeah, the traditional Bali style, and this is us. We were a bit westernized at the time.
Yeah,
but
and was there a reaction to that from the conservative people in Bali, or they didn't care?
No, not really. Of course, it wasn't that easy, but the parents, they didn't really show their protest and everything, because I think most of the Balinese kids, when they get back home, they become Balinese again, just saying okay to their parents. Not really.
So they're not really hardcore punk.
Yeah, not really being too rebellious, because it's not really not like you the West, not like in a Western world and everything. You know, like you can just get out of your parents' house and then work in, let's say, in McDonald's and all that, but. Here you can
hopefully somewhere better.
Yeah, hopefully somewhere. No, when you're 19 or 6,
sure.
You
can be independent.
Yeah, you can be independent, but the payment here it's not that much. So at the end of the day, you have to get back to your parents' house, and you can't be
up to them.
Yeah, you can't be that punk anymore.
So you were living at your parents' place the whole time?
Yeah.
You never wanted to just sort of get a flat somewhere in Kuta and just go wild?
No, we didn't. We didn't at the time. It's just like I still live with my parents and everything, but because I already made my own money and all that, so they didn't really say anything with whatever I'm doing. Yeah.
No, they just accept what you're doing. I think Balinese are very good at accepting what people do, right? There's no sort of reaction, well, unless it becomes a big, run amok kind of thing. Yeah. But generally, people are very tolerant of what other people do.
Yes, that's so true.
So let's go back to Kuta back in those days when you were growing up. When you were a teenager, did you run down to Kuta and run amok at Peanuts or something?
Yeah.
How was it? How was your normal Friday night in Bali back then?
Yeah, so I remember when I was still very young, but I already found out about Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and everything. I started going out to Kuta, and then one of the very first cool place for us at the time, it was called Kayu Api. It turned out, Riwin?
I know that.
Yeah, so he's my uncle, right? So. He was one of the owners of something like that. So we went there, and it was where Sting played, David Bowie, those guys. So we went there, but we couldn't really get in because we were still kids,
so
right?
Young,
yeah, so young. So we just hung out.
Hung out the front.
Yeah, hung out at the front. It's already very cool for us.
So that was a real bule kind of place?
Yeah, a real bule kind of place. And then this...
but also Indonesians, like wealthy Indonesian, I don't know, cool Indonesian or something inside, or not?
Not just wealthy, but... just
cool guys.
Cool guys, like from Sumatra, from Bali. It's just mixed there. And then that's where also like our own... Hells Angels also hung out over there,
House Angels?
Yeah, Hells Angels. Yeah.
Oh, Hells Angels, like motorcycle gang.
Yeah, motorcycle gang,
right.
Like Marcello's dad.
Okay.
He was there, and then he was very popular at the time. Even I was a kid, I heard about his name.
Wow. So that's where Marcello got it from.
Yeah.
big hello to Marcelo out there. Okay, so you go down there and then hang out. And what happens?
I went down there, hang out over there, but then because Kayu Api, its the name is Kayu Api, and then we moved to Peanuts when I was in high school. Moved to Peanut, and then
this is 80s, I guess. Isn't it?
Yes, 80s, and then that's how I met. I mean, after I read Billboard and everything, that's how I started becoming friends. And also, my mom already worked for Qantas at the time, so I was very exposed to whatever Australia, yeah. And then I started meeting Australian people, because at the time, this is very interesting as well. Back then, in the 80s, in Bali, Australian rock music or Australian pop music, pop rock and everything, more popular than American music.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
lots of Australians, right?
Yeah.
And all those little cassette shops.
Yeah. So back then,
selling Midnight Oil and
we listen more to the Angels, Australian call Mando Sexo, Sexy Nudo. You know that song? Yeah. So
you got a good memory.
Yeah. So we listen more to those guys, and then even one biggest tape shop at the time is called Man at Work. You know?
Right, yeah.
So
sure, that's when Australian music really started to come up, right?
Yeah.
In the early mid 80s.
And then of course I knew about Do Re Mi, so I started hanging out with Australian girls. I wasn't too cool at the time. I was too busy wanting to know about what about Do Re Mi? It's like, oh, you know Do Re Mi?
Is that something cool?
Yeah, they're from Australia. So and then that's how I started hanging out with cool Australian girls and finding out about Dr. Martens shoes and everything.
Right. And this is down in
Peanuts Bar.
Yeah. Peanuts.
Yeah.
Not the Garden Restaurant.
No. So it's Bali.
I bet you were down the Garden Restaurant. Anyway,
I was more into this Bali Peanuts Club, but I'm not saying anything about bogans and everything. I just knew that these girls, these guys, they're more stylish than other. So I would usually I got drunk and then I started chatting with them. You know?
Right.
And then I went to. But at the time, I don't know, is it good to say this or not? But at the time, as Balinese, we had certain image about the Australian people, right? They usually look like this and everything. But in the end, in 1988, first time I went to Australia. So we went to Sydney. At the time, my mom dated an Australian guy. So we went to, me and the family, we went to Sydney for the first time. And I was so surprised to see, the people over here, they look so different compared to the Bali Peanuts Club.
They behave themselves. I can imagine.
Yeah. And then I went to Melbourne as well. They were even more fashionable. I was like, oh my God. So I was like the ambassador, the Balinese ambassador for changing the whole image of Australian
of the time.
Yeah.
Wow. The yobbo bogan Australian. It's a pretty hard image to try to change, right?
Yeah.
Especially when they come in here in plane loads. They all act the same.
Yeah.
Or do they? No, but then Seminyak came along, so Seminyak was kind of cooler.
Yeah. So after that, Seminyak came. I just realized, this is not really my scene, so I went to Seminyak more.
Yeah. So what was happening then? Like Blue Ocean, that was kind of happening back in the 80s?
Yeah, but I didn't really go that much to Blue Ocean. And I didn't really go much to the bar and everything, but I went more into the club scene. Because at the time, like in Gado Gado, especially, they didn't really play like too disco-y stuff, but they play more like Talking Heads, And
then sort of Latin kind of house, I guess.
Yeah,
There must have been a beat behind it somewhere.
yeah. But mostly it's almost world music, but still new wavy.
Yeah.
Think about Talking Heads. It's just like that. It's
Sure, there was a lot of clubs back in the 80s which just had top 40, really. Because at that time, the radio was everything, and everybody was listening to the same music.
Yes.
So everybody could understand what the song was.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter. You could be playing David Bowie or whatever.
And then us the rock kids, we could still have place over there. And also at the same time, that's how I found out about this Latin and all that. I still remember. And then even they played Ramones at the time. So when they played Ramones, all of us would just dance like crazy on the dance floor.
Yeah. And that was full of international crowd too, right?
Yes.
Like Seminyak was full of French and Italian.
Yeah. It's so cool. Seminyak, but I couldn't really get into that crowd because a few of them I found it a bit. Yeah, they already had this hippie feeling at the time. I didn't really I didn't really get into that crowd, but they always had this. Even until today, I still love Seminyak. They always had this. How do you say it in swanky? They're like chic.
Chic.
Yeah, chic. Yeah.
Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, chic, cosmopolitan.
And especially if you've been traveling around the world as well, because there's people from all over the planet in Seminyak, and especially in those days too, right? And such a small place like Seminyak. Kuta and Seminyak was such a small place, but it had all these people. You could go anywhere. You could go anywhere in the whole world, and you wouldn't have that.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah,
that's what made the difference.
It's like there's a border somewhere. It's like, and then if you look like you're from Kuta, what are you doing here?
You don't belong.
You don't belong.
With your singlet and your bintang singlet and your board shorts. No, but yeah, it's cool. That was good. It was good for a while because there was like two worlds.
Yes.
And you could mix it up if you wanted.
Yeah.
You could go down and get rough down in Kuta, or be sophisticated in Seminyak.
Sophisticated, yes.
But it took a while. There was. I remember when I first moved here fully, and there was only one place that had spaghetti bolognese. in this place called Terrace, up in Seminyak there, on the end of 66 Road there, and upstairs. Yeah. And I think it was Mario, that the Italian guy from wherever he was from. But they were kind of fancy, but all they had was spaghetti. So it's come a long way from then. And also there was no milk, and proper milk or proper bread.
Okay.
And I'd just come from living in Spain, so it was like everything was on tap. All good stuff was on tap. So it was a bit challenging back then. And when you think back to the 80s, it was basically just nasi campur.
Yeah, that's so true.
And a dodgy burger.
So even I knew about that. My dad. He was one of the very first guy who works in tourism, right? So I asked him, like, why they have this certain, like in Badugul, in Kintamani, all of this small lost man. Each time they serve you in the morning, like the pancake, like they have like the same style everywhere. It turns out my dad said. So somewhere in Nusa Dua, all of us who the very first people who would like to work in tourism and everything, there was like this training how to make a pancake in a banana pancake, and this is how you did it. So everyone did the same thing. Okay, now I understand.
This is the proper way. Yeah. So anyway, they survived, and Nusa Dua, the way that happened over the years. What was the reaction from local people with Nusa Dua? What did you think about it?
Oh yeah. Back in the day, even until today, still, there's quite a few people still think that Nusa Dua is this is like how do you say it, like bourgeois. the the very it's we couldn't really go there, and only for very very rich people.
Sure.
So I think it's part of the Suharto regime who would like to make their own very exclusive place, But
Well, I guess they had a vision for I don't know, tourism in Bali or something.
Yeah, the way that's what they said, but for me, I think it's more about trying to make a certain rich family in Indonesia, so they can hang out over there and they can build their own thing over there.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's a bit too exclusive for us, but then that's where we went. If you would like to learn more or work in tourism, there was this quite an exclusive school. That's where I went. So it was right in the middle of Nusa Dua. That's how I found out. So we went to school over there, and then we did the training for hotel training around the hotels over there. So yeah, it's for Balinese at the time. It was a bit too not sophisticated, too how do you say it, too
high level.
Yeah.
But was it similar to like when they're trying to build the Benoa Bay project?
Yeah.
Was there a kind of movement against it at all?
No,
or
because
everyone just went okay, whatever.
Because at the time we were so happy to have this tourism thing. So
sure.
Everybody like working in a cruise ship also. It was one of the revolutionary for Balinese. It made us think that being a farmer not cool anymore.
Sure.
So work in tourism is something more intellectual, more sophisticated, something like that.
More fun,
more
more independent, more money.
Yeah. So
and less kind of work, hard work. Yeah. And who the hell likes hard work?
Yeah. So
so it's good.
Yeah, Nusa Dua, there was no really protest and everything because people just think, oh, this is like we can work there and make.
This is good for us.
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah, I remember going surfing there when the first trip I made to Bali, which is 1980. I went surfing down Nusa Dua, and the locals in this warung were telling us, they're going to build this Hilton hotel or something here, next year. And I go, oh wow, really? And at that point there was nothing. It was just a big beach.
Yeah.
And it did actually take about 10 years from that point for it to build. I think it opened in 1990, the Hilton. But that was the beginning of changes in Bali, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't think it changed. I mean, we Balinese never really feel like we have anything to do with Nusa Dua and everything. It's just different world for
separate.
us. Yeah,
sure.
And it's still, even until today, even we already have the toll road and everything, and people in their mind, even me, from the older generation, we still think that Nusa Dua is far. Even though it will take you only like 15 minutes to get to Nusa Dua like these days. And also it's just because it's very, for us mentally, it's very far from us, and it's just too high level. And
I remember the first time I went there, there was no bypass road. There wasn't nothing. There was nothing, and you had to go up to around Balangan, I think. Up to Uluwatu, then go along that road, across the hill and down. It was like a 2.5 hour trip from in Sanur. I was in Sanur at that point. So, it was miles away.
Yeah, so psychologically, it's because of the approach of Nusa Dua. For us, it's always been far from us,
But what about, because you were brought up around that Sanur kind of area, right? South Denpasar, Sanur. Did you hang out in Sanur? Was that a happening place back when you were growing up?
I was more into Denpasar scene because Sanur it's a touristy place at the time. I went there just because kids drunk and everything. I would like to know what's going on over there because more about music. Yeah, so cool people who knows cool music. They went to Kuta or Sanur.
Yeah, sure.
So
But it's kind of jazz, wasn't it? Sanur was kind of
No.
older.
No.
No.
Yeah, no. Because Sanur in the beginning they were the very first place open for tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was everything at the time until Kuta tried to keep up, and then they opened like sandbar. Yeah.
Sure.
And then back then, they played rock music and almost everything. But when Kuta started opening, I think slowly Sanur changed into like this place for the older people and everything. And then so jazz came. So something like that.
And the young kids were all going to Kuta. And the young tourists were going to Kuta as well.
Because also in the 80s, even until the 90s, I mean, when Kuta started happening, a few of the business people around Sanur tried to open a few different clubs, like house music or like pop music and everything. And then I went there for a bit, and then none of those places, at the time Sanur already became sleepy town.
Yeah. Nothing ever worked. Something like Jung Air.
Yeah. yeah.
But girl bars always worked. and it had Sanur's always had that interesting
red light
facet,
district
right?
thing,
of old men and girl bars. And it's, for a certain style of tourist, and I guess local as well. I'm sure it's not just tourists going there. It serves a purpose.
Yeah.
And it's got its own character.
Yeah. I think it was started when it started opening as the tourist place. So of course, this red light district always.
Or was it already there? Was it?
No.
Has it already been? Has it been there a long time?
No. After it became a tourist place,
right?
Of course, red light district
attracted the spas. And
but it's not like the whole Sanur is like that, Sanur, this is the tourist place. The red light district is just here.
Sure.
Yeah,
up near the bypass.
Yeah,
I do know it well. Well, not that well. I do drive past it anyway. It's right next to River Sanur, right?
Yeah, it's right the next one.
I could tell you a story about that, but I won't, because we're going live. We're going live on Twitch. You're on the Beat Radio Bali. If you're wondering what we're doing here, we go live on the radio. You can pick us up on the radio. You can pick us up on Twitch. You can pick us up live on Dethu's thing here. On Instagram.
Hello.
There we are. So
I don't really do this much, but thank you, Stuart.
Yeah. All right. So we've gone through a bit of all that, and we actually met because of Superman is Dead, I believe.
Yeah.
Because they were playing down at Aina Bar.
Aina Bar, yeah.
Aina Bar was this little divey bar, which is the size of basically this studio 2 times, which is pretty small. And we had Superman is Dead, who I'd met through the Beat magazine shortly before that. Actually, Bobby was one of the first.
Oh, because of that. Okay.
Yeah, was one of the first graphic designers on the Beat magazine. So, and he told me about this band that he had, and they were playing one night down at the club at the Villas or something. They had a skate ramp or something at the Villas. So I went down there. Yeah.
Oh, you were there? I sang that time.
I missed that. Or maybe it was so good I didn't notice. Anyway, I just spoke to the lads then, and it was the first time I met them, and they seemed pretty cool, and they were rocking it up that night.
Yeah.
And so eventually we got them over at Aina Bar for the first Beat Rock Fest. That might have been, a year later or something, I'm not sure. But that was pretty exciting days back in Bali, the Beat Rock Fest, and we used to pull quite a crowd. And I remember that first one at Aina Bar, the neighbours were, coming down and knocking on the door and telling us to shut up, and it was, they had the volume on 11, and it was like so loud and so wild, and for an hour just thrashing it out in this little bar on the side of the street.
Yeah, because it's really it's quite open. Yeah, there's no like
totally open. And we had him again.
The second one at
the
Cafe
second
Luna.
one. No, the second one was also at an Aina bar, and it got closed down. As soon as they started playing, all the neighbours called the cops and told them to shut up, and that was all over. So yeah, then later we found the Cafe Luna show.
Oh, okay. But maybe I came the second one I came. There was Mamsa also over there.
Oh really?
No, yeah.
I didn't know Mum's there at that time. Maybe not, or maybe I met him that night with you. I'm not sure. But yeah, they were pretty good days. That was 2001, I believe.
Oh my god.
So and then later, you and I, we started a radio show called the Suicide
Beat Show.
Friday nights on Radio Plus.
Radio Plus
with Mumsa. That seems so long. That's 20 years ago.
Oh really?
That's 20 years ago.
Oh my god.
And we used to just do exactly like this, and people would call in. I remember people would call in, and we'd have chats, and we'd talk about, what was going on that weekend.
Good. Yeah.
And it went all the way until it was about a year, or I don't know, 6 months to a year. Then it went all the way to the Friday night before the first bomb, and then that was the last show we did.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
So all those days back then, man. Before the first bomb, and the economic crisis, right? From the economic crisis to the first bomb, it was definitely the innocent golden years of Bali. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I think at the time it was very interesting, and then it's a good wake up call for Bali. I mean, in a way, yeah. This bomb thing, and I think also at the time, that's when the Superman is Dead got its chance, because everybody tried to help Bali at the time, and they felt like they had to include local bands to play there, and the biggest band at the time, 2002, was Superman is Dead. So we had a chance to play in a really big stage, the biggest stage we ever tried before. And then people finally saw us without us having to go to Jakarta to show who we were at the time. And it changed the whole game, because all the biggest bands in Indonesia played at the time, and we were given like the prime time as well. And then it changed the whole game, and after that, boom, we just became like.
But what venues were you playing at?
We played at this next to Discovery. There was still like this big football field or something, and so we played over there in a really, really big stage, and you name it, all the big bands played over there. I think only two of us from Bali played at the time, Harley Angels and us. So, and then it was really great exposure for us. And after that, we played. Hubastang came here. Remember?
Sure,
played
sure.
played the Hard Rock, and then the opening act was us.
Well, it seemed at that time in Bali, it just seemed to rocket, right?
Yeah.
Especially after the bomb, which theoretically you'd think it'd all go bad, but it actually went better.
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to be supporting Bali.
Yeah.
So all these bands, all these international acts started to come here.
Yeah. So
it was booming.
It was booming, and then also. And then from there as well, you played the Beat Rock Fest moved to Hard Rock Cafe also. We did that a few times over there, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't just the was that Australian bar, the Kangaroo Bar or something? I forget what that's called in Dianapura.
No.
But I remember doing. Actually, we did a beat rock fest at the original DJ Cafe when it first opened. You know.
Oh
Remember
yeah.
that? Or is it beat party or something? I don't know what it was.
No, it was I think the Beat Rock Fest, and then
no, I think it was originally the beat party, the big one every year, and it was when they just opened, and I don't think they'd become this sort of hardcore. I think it was just still a cafe, but later it becomes this hardcore late night club. But we had Navicular there or something. I don't know. It was something.
I just talked with Robbie a few days ago. So I'm writing a biography about Navicular right now. Yeah? So it turned out that there was Suicide Glam fashion show. Navicular played. Superman is dead. And then
it was a full lineup.
The full lineup. Like, it turns out they became like the biggest bands now. Who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
So, and those guys who were on stage for Suicide Glam fashion show, they were like, now there's like all of them, like the most popular dudes on the island. We just did it for fun, right? And the very interesting thing at the time, I just found out that, dude, you know, all the sound system and everything. Robbie at the time still working in this travel agent, Rama Tour or something. He was the person who supplied all the sound system for.
Oh, really? Oh, was it? I didn't even know.
Yeah, and he said that's how I made my extra money, because working in Rama Tour, I made quite good money, but I would like to have more. So
yeah, sure. He's always been a go-getter kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's always doing something.
Yeah.
He's not sitting around waiting for it to happen. For sure.
It's like, yeah, dude, that's how I make some money. Oh my god. And Robbie came with his batik. I can't imagine Robbie like that now.
Oh yeah. I remember interviewing him actually once in Made's Warung Kuta and back at the beginning of the beat, and he turned up from work with his batik and his casual resort wear. Yeah, young Robbie. I don't know how old he was then. But then there was a big one, the Beat Rock Fest on the beach in Kuta Carnival.
Oh
which
yeah.
we were both involved in pulling together.
Yeah.
That was all the bands from all over Bali and
National Coil and Seringai came.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Later. No, that was later events. I think it was Superman is Dead was headlining that one. And it was all the local ones.
Yeah.
Just for that first Kuta Carnival. Yeah. And we got up on stage and we had to give a speech, and I think I can't remember it, but I remember it was like 5,000 people out the front. And the people surfing, it was like a full moon, and there was people surfing right in front of the beach and the stage, and all this literally thousands of people jammed in front of the stage because the tide was sort of coming up at the time as well. Because this show went for like 12 hours. So,
Yeah, Tina Ardi was the event organizer at the time. Yeah. And then, I remember that was the first time, and she complained because Superman is Dead couldn't play that long. Why didn't you play that long? I don't think I can pay you the amount of money that we promised you because Bobby at that time, his throat was there's something wrong. It's like we were so scared because the next day we had to fly to Sumatra to do Sumatra tour.
Right.
So Bobby said, I don't think I can sing that much. We still have to do something. So
put Drink up front, or put you up front. That'll do. Anyway, that was 2003. So back in those good old days. But meanwhile, fast forward. Now we see a lot of Europeans. Eastern Europeans in your squad, and the Sanur Cool Cats. What's all that about?
No, I mean it just happened. I didn't really plan about it, right? So so after working in cruise ship, managing and everything, so I had to move to Australia. I live in Sydney for a few years, and then live in Jakarta for a few years, and then back to Bali.
So you kind of lost
contact.
Yeah,
I kind of lost contact and everything, but the only thing that made me come back to Bali because my really close friend he ran this place, Rumah Sanur, and I really loved the place. And then I was quite lost at the time, so okay, I would come back to Bali and I would do something with Rumah Sanur. But at the time also I already worked with Rumah Sanur quite a bit. So then I decided to I will put most of my time here. And then I started working at Rumah Sanur and started creating program and all that. So I made jazz, lots of different artsy art activities. That's how I met my friends, and I was at the time I was like alone, and then these people came. I started chatting with them, and then at the time I already started thinking that I don't think I belong to Canggu. I don't think I belong to Ubud. I don't think I belong to somewhere else. I think Sanur is my best place that I can express myself because it's quite intellectual, not really hedonistic, not very. You're not like lost souls like in Ubud,
Or Canggu.
And then so
it's a bit more established.
Yeah, more established. Yes, more established, and then the people who came there, and when I met these guys, that's how the Sanur Cats started. I met these guys, and I used to live in Ubud, but and I don't think we belong there, and it's a bit too many lost souls over there trying to find something. And I already have my own business, and then we would like to have like something more stable, something more like not too party, not hedonism too much. They like to drink and everything, but around 11 and everything, we have to work tomorrow. We not like working for someone else, working for themselves. So and then this is
it's normal life.
Yeah, normal life. This is the kind
and
of
that they all seem to be Eastern Europeans. Are they attracted to somewhere like Sanur?
I don't know why.
That it?
Yeah.
Even though they all seem to be here in Canggu as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's an older crowd. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. This is they just it happens to be mostly Eastern European, but more sophisticated.
Yeah. Well, older and sophisticated.
Yeah, older and sophisticated. Yeah, and then that's how it started, and we hung out a lot, and then I really like it, and then we started going out to concerts and everything, and then but we didn't really go to like really like party stuff, we went to all of us. We went to jazz thingy in Banyuwangi, and then we stayed there climbing mountain. I didn't do mountain climbing for decades, right? Because of them I started.
It seems very sophisticated, as well as Sanur. The whole rumor Sanur scene seems to be a little bit more sophisticated. And more quality. The music seems to be better too. Right?
It's
not so much punk.
We still have a few concerts of punks and everything, but not really all the time, because for me, I'm not saying anything, but the punk thing, my background also punk, right? But every once in a while we still do it, but just to show that we are quite eclectic and all that. But
it seems a lot more artsy.
Yeah, more artsy, because when we do it all the time and everything, the kind of crowd that came and everything, it doesn't really match my expectation. Like you when you already somewhere with your band punk thing and everything, you already have your experience doing punk and everything. Okay, I will make like one special punk rock show at Rumah Sanur after the quality of your band is better.
Sure. Yeah. Just try to keep the quality up.
Yes.
And what about whiskey? You seem to be all over whiskey. Is there a reason for
that? Yeah, I'm just like what I did when I was on a cruise ship. I like this storytelling thing. I don't really play instrument and everything, right? When I was in the band as the singer, but actually I was the screamer, so I didn't really. I wasn't that artsy. I didn't really know about the notes and everything. so I concern more about the storytelling. So this whiskey thing, remember one night I was so paranoid after I drank tequila too much, and I called you in the middle of the night.
Lost.
Lost, yeah. It was
Lost
so.
tequila.
And then when I live in Jakarta, I started already when before I moved from Bali to Australia, and then but I didn't really have that many friends who I could drink with whiskey in Sydney. So when I moved back to Indonesia and I live in Jakarta, I already had so many knowledge about this whiskey because I bought magazines and I bought books about it, and then I met all of these friends. I mean, they are my old friends, but a few of them they were so interested in whiskey as well. So we were thinking, hey man, we are already at this certain age and everything. Whatever you put in your body, it will have effect, right? So we have to drink something better. So it's good for our body, so we can live longer.
So that was the theory.
Yeah. That's the theory. I mean, we like to drink, of course. So, but we still would like to live longer.
All right.
So the best thing you can do is drink something better.
So better whiskey.
No, not better whiskey, better booze. Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Any better booze.
Any
Right.
better booze. But why we became more interested in whiskey because of this. Whiskey has so many interesting storytelling behind it. So in this Scotland part of Scotland over here, the kind of whiskey very different. Why? So many, even the water, and then, for me, it's so interesting. Yeah. So when you drink something and then there's a story behind it, for me that's how it started. So we all like, okay, let's stop drinking vodka and everything. Whiskey, why is whiskey over there? So, and then we had like our own group who came to my house. We started chatting. Okay, and also at the same time, whiskey is for Indonesian standard is quite expensive. In our group, okay, we would like to drink something better, but this is expensive. So what should we do? Chip in, and then so it makes the group like more together. And then so we tried. You know what?
All these different whiskeys.
Yeah, all these different whiskey with the stories and everything. So that's how it started. And then because we fell in love with that, so we're not really like whiskey drinker. We're the warriors of whiskey. So we started, and I made this the name. We had the whiskey warriors, and then it turns out that people love it. We started our own Instagram account and everything, and then boom, who would have thought that we were invited to lots of by all of this whiskey company and for all of their whiskey event,
All right. So now they're supplying you with all the whiskey. Well, that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I didn't really realize.
Are there whiskey groups around the world as well? I imagine there are.
Yeah, but this is the thing, what I don't like, especially in Indonesia. What they usually do with this whiskey, their approach is always like, how do you say it? Like, yeah, you drink whiskey and then you have to smoke cigar and everything. But for me, the approach is from the punk rock way. You don't really like before you go to the concert, you drink the street whiskey. Good quality whiskey, but cheaper, yeah, and I'm quite far away from all of this. I'm very exclusive. I'm a whiskey guy, very exclusive. Not us. We are the warrior from the street. Our background is punk rock. I think that's how you should approach whiskey. Make it more like a communal. Make it more like a touchable. Sure. Yeah,
and a sharing.
Yeah, sharing. Right? Yeah. So the more you do all of this, like, we are exclusive from doing it. I'm not anti-cigar, and I just don't like the approach.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason why whiskey is now very popular in Bali, when you change the approach, like all of this, like the hydron. I manage the hydron, right? Even these kids, oh, why you still drink this whiskey? We drink different whiskey. It's, drinking whiskey for them, it's okay. They don't really put whiskey as oh, you're from the rich,
sure,
rich background, and that's why you drink whiskey. No, the approach from the very beginning, from the whiskey company, is to make it like,
yeah. Well, they want that because they get a higher price. They want people with money, right, buying it, I guess.
Yeah, but
right.
like at this COVID time and everything, you can't really do that, right? So that's why it works really well to chip in for a better quality booze that you will put in your body. I think this mindset it's really important as well.
And you're still meeting as a group now?
Yeah.
Is that still going on?
It's still going on, but we're not very active because
it's more of it was a Jakarta thing.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
Right? Like Leo.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, Leonardo Ringo, Bobby, and everything. And they still live in Jakarta, but every time I go to Jakarta, we try to make time to like get together.
And have you got any interest from people here in Bali to do it, continue it?
I tried. Okay, this is the thing. So I tried to start because I don't think it's very hard to keep this Ragunan Whiskey Warriors because it's so mostly Jakartan. So I tried to start Sanur Whiskey Social, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we tried. We did a few events, but then because I had to be there all the time. It's getting tiring. I'm so tired. It's like, I'm gonna die soon if I do this.
Yeah, whiskey is very good for you, but you don't want to do it every day.
Yeah.
But this one we've got here, you're an ambassador of. We'll bring it up. What is it?
No, I'm not the ambassador. I just like this one, and then
I thought you were. I know.
Yeah.
So you're not. You should be an ambassador of something.
Yeah, I'm working with Dethu as the ambassador for the.
I better go a shot.
Yeah.
While it's here. Some of the people. Sorry, I just butt in. Some of the people here are making comments, and I can't even see them. So, and somebody mentioned, "Oh, why aren't you drinking a whiskey?" Well, here's one for you, and here's one for me. Let's go.
Yeah. This one. They just started to approach us with the hydron and everything. They gave us cheers, man.
That's lovely.
Yeah, I work I work a lot with this whiskey company, and we were the kind of ambassadors before the hydron and me for. Like Jim Beam and everything, but so many different whiskey company approach us, but we never really had like an exclusive, how do you say, the exclusive contract. Just me, not really with the whiskey company, but with like the holding company of one of the whiskey.
Yeah, like a distribution arm of it or something, was that it?
No.
Or the actual one above the distribution.
Yeah. One above the principal, which they produce Smirnoff and Singleton, all of that.
Diageo.
Diageo. Yeah. My job is I'm one of the ambassadors for the their program drinking responsibly
as well.
Yeah.
As well as Bintang for a while too, right?
Yeah. So with Bintang, I still like. I might go to Jakarta to talk with the House of Representatives, the Parliament, because they try to impose this anti-alcohol law again.
Again now.
Again, yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, because I'm quite close with all of these people, and I used to be one of their consultant.
Yeah.
So now my job is more from my part is more from I'm the consumer. I'm the consumer. and then I will represent the consumer to say that the idea of banning alcohol completely is a bad idea, something like that.
Yeah, sure. So you're actively lobbying on that?
Yeah.
Now.
Even from before.
But that's already the first alcohol. What do they call that? There was some sort of catchy name for that. But the alcohol law, that was years ago.
2015 in the beginning, yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, 2015 until like around 2017. And then they stopped trying to do it. But boom, they just started again a few months ago.
Oh, really?
So
I didn't even hear about it.
Yeah, it's actually and then it's even dangerous right now because I don't know how to say it in English, but before they tried from this department, didn't really work. So they tried to work from more internal department, the one who you doing the law, like this department. So
parliamentarians or lawmakers.
Lawmaker, yeah, this the lawmaker department. So they didn't really have to wait or talk about it. It's already okay for them.
It's already a bill.
Yeah, it's already built. So it's to the second step now.
Right.
So that's why I have to go there and then.
Okay, to lobby that, but before you couldn't get a beer in Denpasar, for example.
Yeah.
Right. Is that still the case? Now, can you get a beer in Denpasar and
no, now it's already on that part. It's just also it's also because our minister, industry minister, something like that, it was his idea to stop it.
Oh.
And forced by Parliament. If our current minister don't do it, it's still okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but so now
a local Balinese government. Idea,
the minister
in the national.
national. The same people, still the same people. Before they tried from this road, they changed it now from this road, which is more dangerous, more crucial, more significant, because they are the lawmakers in the parliament.
Right.
So right now they don't really care about the minister. They care more about this has to become law.
And they want to ban alcohol.
Yes.
All alcohol.
All alcohol. You can still drink alcohol when you use it for religion, like Hindu, still using arak and everything. So it's very, very limited.
No, but what about whiskey?
No.
Nothing.
And the best...
not in Bali.
Still, what I don't want is, okay, you can still drink whiskey, but only in Bali. So all the booze company, they don't really have that big market, right? Only in Bali. So it will make the whiskey really, really expensive.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That's why...
That's real bad.
Yeah. So that's why me as the representative of the people, what I'm trying to do is like, you... not the government, the state, you can't really tell us what to drink and everything. I'm already more than 21, which is the legal drinking age, right? As soon as we are already more than 21, you can't tell us what to do, what to drink. And it's against the very basic human rights. So that's what I would like to bring, which the same also what I did before.
And that's actually going to meetings and with these people that are trying to pass a bill, and talking to them,
which I already did with one of the party who's against it. So we had like a Zoom meeting with the Diageo people, with the Birbintang people, and I was there. Zoom meeting. I was representing the people. So I started chatting with them. So we did in a few weeks, you will go to Jakarta. This is the whatever voice, something like that. So
This is recently.
All
right.
Yeah,
So you're going up to Jakarta to talk to them
yeah,
face to face.
Yeah, this one. This time, this is Diageo. This is the party that against it and against the party who would like to impose this, and it's the same people, like this fanatic, close-minded people. Yeah,
that's right.
It's actually
unfortunate, but
it's actually quite dangerous. But what's good before, whatever you make, whatever this party trying to do, if the president, let's say, they invite the government, parliament invite the government to the executive, to come. If the executive don't show up, which that's what they did before. If they don't show up, this bill can't go on.
It's like the Senate,
versus
the House of Representatives, which is the lower house and the upper house.
No,
is that how it works?
Parliament, and let's say this is the party, Let's say PKS, PDIP, something like that. Yeah, all the parties
make up the DPR, the RDPR.
No, this is the DPR.
Yeah,
this is DPR with Jokowi and
the whole parliament, the whole government,
the whole government. So
there's just one house.
Yeah.
So who's this committee then?
This DPR invite Jokowi and his group to come.
Right.
If Jokowi don't show up, they can't do anything.
All right.
So that helped us before.
And now?
Now, hopefully, yes, but it's already almost become the law.
Well, Jokowi was made a back step on that law, the alcohol law, recently, right? When they're going to legalize, people could produce Iraq or alcohol in Bali, and then they backstepped and it changed their mind.
I don't think you can really call it backstep, but actually, what he does is he just doesn't give more permission to make. We already have enough booze company. We don't need anymore. No, in the whole Indonesia.
Oh, really?
So, I don't know how to see it, but I think there are some registration that they don't really use. You just use that. It's enough.
What, for people to produce alcohol?
Yeah.
In Indonesia.
Yeah, and also in like in Bali, it's a bit wild. People also have to start thinking about when you would like your staff to be admitted. This is good. You can drink it and it will not make people die or blind. Sure. You have to be in a certain cooperation, or they
have to be regulated.
Yeah, regulated. Yeah. A few of them, they already think that what the government want and everything. I actually agree with it has to be regulated, so you know what you drink.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or you could die from methanol poisoning.
Yeah.
Which happens quite regularly.
Yeah. That's why, and then the people still think what the government does wrong at these days is they don't do enough socialization about why this being regulated is better.
Sure.
They don't
because they have these other parties in their ear here saying that all of it should be banned.
No,
because they can't. It seems to me like they can't talk about alcohol at all.
No, in Bali you can.
Yeah.
At least even in Bali, the way what the government have been doing, I don't think they do enough socialization, because I had my Arak festival like a month before COVID in February. So I invited a few of art crafters and those people. They came, all of them. They already have like a really negative feeling about, I don't know what cooperation. We call it koperasi in Indonesia. Being in koperasi is like, oh, too many regulation and it's so hard. Too many bureaucracy and everything. But actually, being regulated, and so when, let's say, if you make like a special arak bar, I don't think many people would come, especially maybe us, just Balinese. Okay, maybe we die or maybe we don't, or maybe just blind. And we always try to take a chance because it's a third world country. We are already okay.
Get away with it.
Yeah,
but don't you just splash the first bit onto the ground? That's the way you save yourself, right?
Yeah. So, but what they don't realize, being regulated and everything to make people feel safe. Yeah, when as soon as they come to this arak bar, you're not gonna die or you're not gonna be blind.
Yeah. And obviously, that's going to cost some money to set up.
Yeah.
Right. To regulate means you have to have the right equipment and the right premises.
Yeah, and then being in this koperasi, it will make you don't pay that much and everything, but and then you can. You work together, all of these small art crafters and everything, being in this corporation, and then, okay, we are in the same group, and then let's buy the permission or the label and everything. You just use one name, that's
sure.
And the government should do better socialization about this. That's all. Yeah. I think this is very important. Otherwise, we always talk about, we try to be the next sake, the next soju and everything. But if you don't want to be regulated, forget about it. Yeah,
it's never going to work.
Never going to work. Yeah.
People are going to die.
Yeah.
And those times have gone.
And
nobody's allowed to die anymore.
No.
That's a COVID thing as well.
That's why I stopped. I stopped drinking arak for decades, because I don't want to die. But then these days it's actually
there's some good ones around, right?
Yeah, these days
Asli or something it's called. There's a few different boutique arak makers.
There's a few different arak makers. I started drinking a few of it. It's like, oh my god. Arak these days is so different than arak in the old days. It's like it tastes like gasoline. Why you still drink? It tastes like we didn't have that much money. This is a poor country. We don't have that much money, so whatever.
So you just drink anything.
Just drink anything to make us drunk.
And you'll be happy. Happy as shut up. All right, moving on. Because we've got to move on. So now, after all these years of rock and roll, whiskey and madness, do you think what does rock and roll mean to you now, today?
Yeah, I think I just posted today. The role of the artist is to make revolution irresistible. I like this one. So I think the part of us as the rock and roll thing, we should try our own. It doesn't matter how small, little revolution, right? Like what Rumah Sanur is doing. This is, I think, so you try to change. You try to make the better quality of the art scene and everything, right? Also make a little revolution. I've been helping a little bit, like. For myself, I can't really do like the very, very aggressive like what I did before, anti-reclamation and everything. And I would like to do more like something more peaceful, something so you don't really have to fight with
the authorities.
So I'm
a peaceful revolution.
Yeah, like like Sungai Watch, let's say, or I work with we work together for this. Orphanage, that's the kind of thing.
Trying to help out.
Yeah, trying to help out, and then this is the real. I mean, I'm not trying to fight like the really, really big issue anymore. Okay, I think that I can do this. What the orphanage and it's just right in front of us, and then I think just by doing a few little concerts, and we can make some money, and it's very.
That's right. That's what we have to talk about as well. But going back to the music, are you still listening to Van Halen?
Yeah.
You know, all those bands from before.
Yeah, I mean, like the way I do my rock and roll thing, because my background is a writer, right? So I often, let's say, on this day, Van Halen released their album, right? So I will do on my Instagram or my social media, share about the knowledge, why this is important and everything. So when you're really into music, and then when you've been in this rock and roll thing, and you would like to know more. So these people will become game changers, or like movers and shakers. This is the kind of people that I would like to embrace, right? So then from there, they will come to Sanur, and we try to change.
So you're trying to attract the right-minded people through your posts.
Yes.
People that are interested in the history of all these activists.
Yes.
Basically, to bring them down to your group.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's. I didn't really know about this maneuver. I didn't really understand about this maneuver before, but I've been doing this storytelling thing quite a bit, and then it turns out that okay, this is how you approach people without dictating them, you know. So they like the good words, you know.
They become attached.
Yeah, they
you.
become That's why when like I'm doing what I'm doing like right now, I just posted story this morning about this Arak thing. I do it. I write in my way, and everything is the reaction from the people. It's really really amazing. You know, like hey, I want to try. So this kind of people that I would like to embrace, and then, dude, I think we can work together. I have this. I've been helping this orphanage and everything. You think we can work together? Not that. I think it's more subtle to approach people using this. Either music, either art.
Information.
Yes.
True. What's happening at Rumah Sanur now without your old friend
Ayib?
Ayib.
Yeah, I have to take over his job, which is so hard.
Well, Ayib passed away, right? A year ago.
Yeah, he passed away. Yeah, a year ago, exactly. And then because why I work at Rumah Sanur as well with Ayib, because Ayib know that we can't really work alone. That's why the slogan of Rumah Sanur is connect, collaborate, and create. Right? He understands from long time ago. So, but then right now, because it's me alone, so I have to do like double jobs. And Ayib is so more forward than me, especially in. Working with the government, with the design and everything. Yeah,
sure.
He's the guru of it.
Yeah,
it's very hard for me, but because I really respect this guy and everything, and I try my best to keep up. You know, so it's not the best. It's not really.
There are other partners involved, right?
Yeah, just one more. Roberto.
Right. Okay.
Roberto, and then he's the general manager. He's the director. I'm the co-director, and then this guy who owns the building and everything. But basically, who's doing the operation and everything is me.
Right.
Yeah.
Now everything. And it's now open, fully open.
Yeah, it's fully open, but we can't really do much. So what the
because of the protocol.
Yeah, because of the protocol, and also we don't really have money that much. So the thing that we can't really do is other than music, I can't really do anything yet. So,
it's a good idea that we should be doing something for Jody O'Shea house, and I'm sure we can do that sometime soon in the future.
For sure, yeah. I think that I think with Rumah Sanur, with the image and everything, it would be much easier because people like what like this organization SOS. So they've been opening rescue kitchen from almost a year now, and then it turned out really well, and then people love it, and it really represents the idea of Rumah Sanur, So it makes people like have a sympathy, something like that. Yeah.
Well, it's about community, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rumah Sanur.
Yeah. It's all about community.
Well, anyway, that's bringing us to the end of our show. We're already sort of run well and truly over time. It's like 1.5 hours already. It's always great to see you, Dethu. Dethu's one of my oldest and best Balinese friends, and we remain that way after many ups and downs in our worlds. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Yes, same here.
Thanks for coming down to join the Tuesday Night Live show. Thanks for the viewers, and sorry if we can't actually see the comments you're making on the Instagram to comment back, and we can't comment back, but I'm glad you're there making comments.
Thank you so much. We don't bring our glasses.
Yeah, time is moving on, but we will check it now and get back to you. Thanks, Dethu. We'll get back to the music, to the electronic music, I'm afraid.
So this is the end?
This is the end.
Okay, thank you so much, Stu. This reminds me of the good old time.
The early days.
The early days, and we had like a few different shows around. It's been a while. The last time I think we did it 5 years ago or something.
Probably more. Over at Mums's place in the Radio Plus, the Beat Radio Plus.
Thank you guys for listening. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll say bye for now.